Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Purple State Party, Kid Copious in the bunker. You know how we do this, man. There we go. Look at that. That starts the show every time. Lets everybody in the house know I'm ready to go. They don't come out and bother me. I'm a creative guy. Speaking of creative, we're going to move right into the most interesting thing I heard this week was about so-called 25th Amendment, so-called like the president's not fit, we need to remove him. So, apparently that's Pelosi's plan. But Trump had another take on that, and that she's just setting up Biden. She's getting this all out there, and they're going to use it to replace Biden with Kamala Harris. I mean, yeah. Let's look at the evidence. Let's let's get out the old magnifying glass here and examine some of the evidence. First of all, it's never going to work to get Trump because you have to have the cabinet agree, you have to have the vice president agree, the Senate has to agree. Basically, everybody has to agree. That's not going to happen. Very doubtful that Pence at the final moments could say, yeah, you're right, Trump's unfit, I'll be president. And then the cabinet has to agree, the Senate has to agree. So Pence would have to basically stage a coup, so to speak, and hope that people agree. Or his political career is pretty much dead. He might get to spend a few weeks as president, but it's not going to happen. Let's be honest about it. It's all hinging on Trump and his people agreeing. But now what if we flip the script? Let's just say Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, and the token slide in. All of a sudden, maybe they win the Senate. Maybe they have control of the House, the Senate, one party. Like I said this week on good old Twitter, one party states, great. I live in California. It's awesome. If you don't believe me, just ask the drug addicted bum who pitched a tent in my front yard. So you get all these people together, and I have no problem believing that Harris will sign off on that. The hand-picked cabinet by the Democratic Party will sign off on it. Joe Biden will step aside, go off into the sunset, enjoy his retirement and all the money that he made off of the back of the taxpayers with his sneaky little deals, book deals and speaking fees. They should abolish that. Without getting off on too much of a tangent, you get rid of the financial incentive to be a politician, and then you only get politicians who really want to do something for the people. But that's just me dreaming. That's just me high as hell, thinking out loud. But is that possible? Is that how low they'll stoop? I mean, we're starting to find out that they'll stoop low. They made deals with the Russians, and they hired people to concoct evidence against Trump or whoever the Republican was going to be. They're going to go that low. I mean, as we'll see as we start going through some more of these tweets and memes, they are willing to go to some pretty desperate lengths to achieve and keep power. And that's what really concerns me, is that their goal is not a better society. Their goal is a lot like communism, where you have poor and you have rich. The rich pay the taxes, you give checks to the poor, they do your menial tasks for you, you get to enjoy the fruits of this great country, you get to profit, and everybody else gets to live in squalor. That's what they want. I'm sorry, but that's what y'all are voting for. You may hate Trump, but, you let these idiots in there. Man, you just look at California. Look at how hard it is to be middle class in California. I mean, I work my ass off, man, and I'm barely making it. That's truth. I'm barely making it. But so what are some of their plans and some of the things that they like to show off and brag about and insist upon? Let's look at this. We're trying to get money for people who are out of work, and they're tying it to cashless bail, mass prison release, nationwide voter ID ban, and stimulus checks to illegals. So they want to let criminals commit crimes and then return to the streets as quickly as possible. They want to let people out of prison, And along with that, they want to give them back the right to vote. We're voting on that here in California. If somebody is released from prison, they automatically immediately get their voting rights back again. So they're supporting the prisoners. They're supporting criminals. They're supporting any sort of election fraud because they don't want people to have to show their ID. Well, I mean, what's the big idea about that? You know, everybody can get an ID. I don't understand what the problem is. You know, and they want to give stimulus checks to illegals. Why? That's what's holding up our payments. I mean, that's what they're asking for. You know, you can scream all you want about corporate bailouts and companies getting money, but companies that are based here in the United States deserve checks more than illegals. I'm sorry. It's just about logic, really. You know? But Trump's fighting back against some of this. He's going to declassify some of these documents that are related to this Russian hoax, this impeachment hoax. I mean, think about what you're voting for. You're voting for a party that's willing to do this. You know, that also means they're willing to slit your throat too. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but I'll just repeat it again. I live in California. I've seen what the end result is. We don't have enough power. We don't have enough power here at all. That's how mismanaged it is. We have 100,000 people living on the streets. 5 people die every day on our streets just from being on the streets. And that's a pretty much underreported number because in some circumstances you don't know. You know? It's idiotic. They don't know what they're doing. They tax and they spend. And that's not just an anti-Democrat slogan. That's what they do. I mean, they got $9 billion out of us, and they're building a high-speed rail from Bakersfield to, like, Redlands, I think. I don't even know barely know where these places are. They're in the middle of the state. It's not an area where you need a bullet train. It makes no sense. But it's just a place for them to dole out money, to buy favors, to skim some off for themselves. Come on. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying only Democrats do it. All politicians do it. But the way the Democrats do it is affecting our pocketbook because they quickly run out of money and then want to tax more. We're going around another round on homelessness. They want more money for that. Last time we gave them more money, it went up by 18%. So I don't really understand. And this is the person that you're putting your faith in. This is who you would rather have than Trump. Trump's done things for blacks. He has not said negative, derogatory things towards blacks. You know, you can look it up. Try to find it. Figure it out. Put it down below. I'd love to hear it. Another big problem with the Democrats. China. China wants to seize Taiwan, probably South Korea. We know this. When Pence was talking about China, they blipped out China. China blipped it out for their viewers. It's pretty much a signal of who they're supporting, who they want. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. I mean, let's just be honest about it. You know, Trump has been antagonizing them, going after them, trying to figure out a way to get American companies to return from China. He doesn't like China. China don't like him. Pretty sure we know this. You know? And this is who they're going to sneak into the presidency. That's a very true statement. I don't know how else to say it. But when we went through the presidential primaries, the nominations, things did not go well for her because people don't like her. So why in the hell is she on the ticket? Unless they're going to do something. They know that Biden will beat Trump because everybody hates Trump. And then they're going to get rid of Biden and put Kamala in and run around and talk about how, look how progressive we are. Now you got to vote for us. They don't care. They don't really care what kind of a mess they make out of your life. I hope you realize that. You know, I hope you realize that before it's too late. I just like this one because, I like Tupac and Kamala Harris, whatever the frick her name is. I can't, my own parents call her Camel, for God's sakes. Nobody likes her. I mean, people in California know, I mean, really, she slept her way into politics. Like, you could be as grossed out as you want by Donald Trump, but sleeping your way into politics, that's kind of a push. I would say it's a push. But another reason why I'm very concerned is because they're not talking about any sort of platform. And why is this important, the stacking the court? Because if they get full control, they are going to try to abolish rights. Communist countries, socialist countries don't want their citizens being able to fight back. The only way to stop Americans from fighting back is to take away our guns. They will propose it. If they hold all the cards, they'll propose it. They'll stack the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will say, yeah, you know what? Why don't we just remove that amendment? Why don't we? What do they care? They're the rich people, man. They're going to hire the armed guards. They're going to have the police protecting them from the destruction that socialism will bring. I really hope that I am exaggerating. I really do. But when they don't come out with a platform, when they don't tell you what kind of taxes are coming, here in California, they want to raise people over a certain dollar value to something like 46%. And knowing that these people will leave the state, they want to make the tax retroactive for like 10 years. Like, that's the level that Democrats will go to F you over. They want your money and your vote. That's it. They don't want your happiness. They don't give a shit. Look at the districts where Maxine Waters and Pelosi and Schiff. Ask them, like, do you ever get any representation? No. They're in Washington, D.C. bitching about Trump. That's all they want to do. They don't want to even live in their own districts. They don't even want to live in their... But these people don't even want to live in California because they don't want to be taxed. We're trying to remove certain property tax restrictions on businesses. They're going to leave. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've seen tens of thousands of people either lose their job or move to Texas. I've had clients pack up and move to Tennessee. The entire operation. Not just the CEOs, not just the middle management, but the everyday workers. They're either move, leave your family behind, or, your extended family behind, or find another job. We're out of here. And all we do is continue to try to make more money and more money for the state government. That's all they want to do. We're in the middle of a crisis right now, and they want to figure out ways to get more money out of us. I don't really see the Republicans doing that. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't see the Republicans putting prison releases and no cash bail and stimulus checks for illegal aliens. I don't see it. I don't give a shit if Coca-Cola gets a check. I want my check. I don't want prisoners coming out of jail. I don't want illegals getting money. I want illegals to go back home. We're in the middle of a crisis right now, man. This is a time for America to pull together and take care of Americans. I'm sorry. I really am. But that's common sense. That's what it is. It's, this is an ugly world, man. And sometimes you have to set your compassion at the door. You go around trying to hug everybody, somebody's going to stab you in the back. That's the world we live in. Whether you like it or not. Sometimes ugly things have to be done. But again, we can't hold up the payments to American citizens to give money to illegal aliens. Do that somewhere else. Do that in a separate bill. Something that could be hammered out. Some amnesty program. But separate. Deal with those issues separate and worry about American companies and American citizens first. Nobody likes it. Whatever. As I may have mentioned, I live in California. They want to pay, and I've already covered this, but it's still boggling my mind. They want to pay reparations. In the middle of a crisis, going broke, they want a free state to pay reparations. This is what we get. This Omar right here apparently is running, I believe, against Newsom. I had barely any time to look that up when I found this, and I mean, elect Navarro down at the bottom. But this is where, you see this disconnect between what we're told and what we see. And what I see is somebody of some Hispanic origin going off on the Democratic governor. And that's what I see on a daily. There is some sort of myth going out there, man, that the Hispanic population buys into the Democratic program. I just don't get it. I mean, when you meet a girl and her name's America and she's from Mexico, it makes you think. It makes you realize that they don't want us to be a socialist country. They don't want a one-party rule. They've already seen it. That's why they fled. Again, this is another example right here. Loomer. Apparently she's alt-right, they call her, or something. I don't know. I don't concern myself too much with politics from other states other than when somebody pops up on my radar and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. That's not the picture the media wants. And that's one thing that I just don't understand about the media overall is with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of that, we can show the pictures of the truth. So why do they continue with the lies? Why are they not going after this idea that the 25th Amendment is being trolled out so that they can get Biden? Why are they not talking about the fact that there's mounting evidence that the entire impeachment was based on lies and created documents? Documents they knew. Disgraced people were asked to create reports for money. Duh. I don't see somebody beneath me. I don't see racism. All I see is delicious syrup over waffles. If you don't see that, then I guess you are part of the problem. If somehow some sort of sinister message comes through to you from this waffle syrup, pancake syrup. I'm sorry, I'm not a big pancake guy. I'm not going to get in that argument right now, but I'm a waffle guy. I know it's the same ingredients, but I like the little squares, you know what I mean? I like the little squares, the way it collects the melted butter. But anyhow, I just came across this randomly, and I just thought, hey, another thing from my childhood gone. Ooh. Yeah. I've never watched Fox News. Going back some time, Fox News was, before we really understood just how fake the mainstream media was, Fox was viewed as a one-sided news channel. I just never bought into that. I don't particularly like that. I used to watch CNN a lot, but that's what kind of made me realize something was going wrong. But now Fox News is doing it because it's popular. Oh, okay. It gets clicks. Oh, all right. But when are we going to get somebody who just tells the truth? When are we going to get, you have to go to other cities and other states around here because here it's just propaganda, man. It's just propaganda for the masses. That's all it is, man. This guy Simon Miller, 1776. I dig the name and I dig the content that he either creates or scrapes off the internet. Keep your country clean. That's what we've spent decades fighting against, and now people just want to vote that in. They want to give up to allowing the rich to govern the peasants and F everybody in between. That's what they want to do, man. Either you're going to be rich or you're going to be broken. That's the way they look at it. That's the way the commies look at it. That's the way the Demis look at it. Just calling it like I see it, man. I've been here for over 50 years. I've seen it. I've seen it. See, he brings good content, right there. So you're just going to recover after 3 days, even though you're 74 years old, obese, and eat a ton of junk food. Yes. I can't do a Trump impersonation. Yeah. Again, why are we left wondering so many things? If it's so bad, why was it not so bad? I don't know about you, but I wasn't worried about it. I've been listening to a lot of different doctors, and I try to do my research, and I've kind of determined that COVID's one of those things. I heard a guy on the radio, and he had fought in the Vietnam War, and he was in his late 70s, and he pointed out something very interesting, that the people who died of COVID, as sad as it is, and I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but he said it. He's 70 plus. He says those people would have died of anything. I was like, damn. Like they give you a survival rate once you're over like 70 with COVID, right? But in a lot of ways, that's your survival rate with anything that's semi-serious. I mean, pneumonia, some sort of infection, just a litany of ailments and diseases can take people out. And we've tossed it all away, man. We have ruined at about a year of all the kids' lives. I don't know. I'm afraid that someday the true numbers, the true story is going to come out, and we're going to all regret it, but it's going to be way too late. I just think it's sad, but then again, I had a lot of concert tickets this year. So, I've got a very disappointed daughter who was getting ready to see My Chemical Romance coming up. Something she didn't think she'd ever get to see. And they come around, and we're not going to be able to go. And I just hope to God it was all worth it. I hope we don't find out that this thing was all a big giant sham. I hope we find out this wasn't like Russian collusion. Yeah. The Rock endorsed Biden. Don't be dumb as a rock. Don't be dumb as a rock. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Again, this is Navarro. We live in an age now where politicians like to show off their meme skills, I guess. It's kind of cool, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. But again, I just think that people only read the headline and they form their opinions based on the headline. They form their affiliations on it. They don't do much time scratching the surface. They don't look at, I mean, The Rock here is endorsing somebody who has a really crappy record. He is a career politician. He's tried and failed to be the president. Kamala Harris has tried and failed to be the president. She's wishy-washy. She's a snake in the grass. I mean, I can say with 100% positive that she is going to try something crazy when she gets into office, and God forbid they use the 25th and make her a president, because her shit isn't going to fly. Her shit is not going to fly with other people around the world. People here are just brainwashed into hating Trump so much they'll accept her. But man, people are going to really regret their votes this year, I think. Going to what we see, what we're told, and I came across this, and this is from the actual news station. So I don't think they would doctor the graphic, but that shows you some truth right there. That's a huge margin. That tells you what a group of people might be thinking right now. Nearly 15,000 votes on Telemundo. I mean, we're not being given the truth. You are not getting the truth. And before you cast a ballot, you need to look at it. You need to really stop and think. Like these propositions, do we really need to give the state more money for homelessness? They're not doing anything. They're building units that cost nearly $1 million. Somebody is ripping us off. It goes to this. Right there. You want lower taxes because you hate the poor. No, actually, I want lower taxes because the U.S. Air Force still can't explain why it spent $1,200 on a coffee cup. Why is rehabbing a hotel to make it for the homeless costing $900,000 to build? You could build a house for that. You could build a house for $900,000, a nice house. So one little unit, probably shared bathrooms, maybe a bathroom right there. I mean, you can get a kick-ass bathroom for $100,000. And one room framed out, put some walls up, I mean, some electrical sockets, some lights, $900,000. And I'm just saying, I know that both sides do this, but I also know that the Democrats do it on a larger scale. They just do. Because I see it with what goes on here in California. When they have a gas tax, they raid the gas tax, so they add another gas tax. Going after our boy there. Remember, I didn't even vote for him the first time around. This guy's earned my respect. But there they go, the mainstream media. More of like what we are told and what we see. Those are some true facts right there. He's done stuff. Platinum. The opportunity zones. He's done something. He's put into place programs that directly affect boots on the ground, black men and women, and people of other nationalities. Even white people who live in these zones benefit. It benefits a lot of people. It benefits the middle class, the poor, and the rich. That's a very fair way of doing it. But they label him a racist. But, he's the worst one ever. So in conclusion, I saw this. It was kind of a joke that was passed around, so it's not fresh to death. But you don't like me because I'm voting for Trump. Well, Biden. Copious out. Vote with your head, not your heart.